This is the United States Navy. Stand tall. You will soar into heaven and dive into hell if you want to become an officer and a gentleman. I want your DOR now.
No, please, I got nothing else. I got nothing else.
You've come a long way, Zach Mail.
Don't you get sloppy on me, Krivki.
We all remember Richard Gere in his white suit in the iconic 80s movie An Officer and a Gentleman. Well, a brand new stage version is on tour throughout the whole of the UK at the moment, and it's currently running at the Grand Opera House here in Belfast this week. It runs until Saturday. Jamal Crawford, he's playing the role of Sergeant Emil Foley, and Jamal joins us now. How are you today?
I'm all good, man. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So tell me this, so you're looking forward to coming to Belfast then?
I can't wait to come to Belfast. I've never been to Belfast myself, and that's the same for me, myself and some other people in this cast. It's going to be a new experience, meeting the people and seeing what Belfast is as an audience as well. Because you know, every audience that we have on a show is like it's different atmosphere and different feeling we get personally on stage. So I can't wait to experience what Belfast is as an audience. So yeah.
When I talk to a lot of people who are doing these tours at the moment as well, there's so many dates on them, so you must wake up sometimes and you don't know what city you're in today.
100%. Each day is a new experience. And yeah, each day, one thing that I think every performer loves to have is that like every day is different. You never get the same, sometimes you don't get the same reactions, you get different reactions off a different line or a different moment in the show. And I personally love that. It's like, because you at that stage, you know the audience is like tuned into whatever you're doing on stage. So it's a privilege, yeah, grateful.
So for anybody who grew up in the 1980s, An Officer and a Gentleman is one of those iconic movies that everybody remembers. So it must be a pretty special show to be involved in.
It really is. The show, all I've heard from audience feedback is the show has left people feeling like some deep emotion in some way. You know, I've seen people in the audience towards the end, like tears in their eyes, you know, crying, and you know, I don't want to be upset, but at the same time, it's like for me as a performer, for me, if we're able to make the audience feel something, that's our job done. That's job completed. Tick. So yeah, I'm just grateful for the show. The show it has so many layers to it. If you're coming for a good time, and just a feel good show, then yeah, you're gonna get that at certain points. At the same time, it's got so many layers to it that yeah, you're gonna be left a bit like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? You know, so it's an amazing show.
Now tell me about the role that you're playing in the show. It's Sergeant Emil Foley. That was the part that was played by Louis Gossett Jr. in the film, and he won an Oscar for that, didn't he?
He did. He's amazing. You know what? When I got offered the role, I actually remembered this performance by Louis Gossett Jr. Because it's always been a role or part that I always thought, I'd love to like mess around with that in some way. And when this audition came through, yeah, I had that in mind. Like the performance that we all saw from that movie, it's iconic. He's amazing. Big shoes to fill, 100%. Yeah. But you know what? I honestly haven't looked at it from that point of view. I've looked at it from the point of view of like, oh man, like there's such a foundation there to look at and study off. So it's given me such a, you know, some days before the show, I'll like look on YouTube and I'll like look at little clips of like how he does certain things because he's amazing. And yeah, I keep saying the same word. I'm privileged to just like be here and playing this part, like you just said. Amazing, unreal.
What about the music in the show as well? Because it's like one of my playlists on the radio. You've got Madonna, you've got Bon Jovi, you've got Cyndi Lauper. You've got basically every big 80s tune, haven't you?
Anyone who grew up in the 80s music, like all the iconic songs, I promise you, you will leave the show feeling, yeah, like your whole world's come true because it's got everything. I promise you, any iconic 80s song that you can think of that, you know, was the biggest hit in the 80s that your probably is your favorite. Everyone's got their favorites from the 80s. It's probably in the show. I promise you. Interesting take that we do with those songs. Like we have our own spin on it. It's not just like the songs redone. It's like the songs that it's done in our way, but it's still like true to the song, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's very clever.
And then, of course, you got the big song from the movie that everybody remembers, Joe Cocker, Jennifer Warnes, Love Lifts Us Up Where We Belong.
For sure. Iconic. I mean, we had the audience reaction straight away. As soon as you have that iconic moment, of course, it's in front of the movie. That's not giving anything away. Of course, we're going to have the iconic moment at the end with Zach lifting up Paula at the end in his white sailor suit and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great story. It's a love story. It's a story about triumph. It's a story about honor. It's a story about people with their own troubles and getting over those troubles through I know it sounds a bit cringy, but through love and through, you know, yeah, through the power of love. It's a great show, man. I honestly go on stage every night just privileged to be part of it and also to play alongside some of these amazing actors who honestly we've only known each other for the past 3-4 weeks, but the cast has just gelled so much already. It feels like this is a big chapter for myself and others, and we can definitely feel that in the room and on stage. So yeah, it feels great. It feels great.
And what about your performance journey? Was it a long struggle to get where you are today, or how did it all happen for you?
You know what? And I can honestly say this, no disrespect to anything I've had prior. This is all I wanted from the last few years was a role that I wanted that I could just get my teeth into, that I could actually like act properly and step away from because I'm at first I would say I'm a dancer more than anything. That's how I train.
Yeah.
But when it came to the act, I've always had a passion for acting, and acting is the one thing I wanted to just focus on more than anything. So yeah, roles in terms of roles that I've done before, it's always been dancer and actor roles. This is my first role, which feels weird for me because even from the rehearsal period, I'm not dancing or anything, not really. You know, I have like little skits now and then, but it's more comedic. It's not me in dance choreo numbers and stuff like that. But so yeah, it's very different for me. This, like I said, this is a new experience for me, but I'm loving it. And the fact I get to actually show off my acting skills even more. And yeah, so far the audience feedback is great, and I'm enjoying it. You know, so I'm happy. I'm just happy. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you're on your way to Belfast. You open at the Grand Opera House on the 12th of March, this coming Tuesday. I'll be there myself. Looking forward to seeing it. Jamal, it's been great talking to you, and have a great time in Belfast.
Pleasure, man. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
So, an officer and a gentleman runs at Belfast's Grand Opera House until Saturday.